This video will describe how you know what to work on next in this project. The previous video showed the different checkpoints. They also showed that below each checkpoint are resources that you can expand and see. In addition to resources are activities that require you to complete them before that checkpoint. However, it might be a little confusing to know what you need to do and in what order. In order to know what to do next in this project, you scroll all the way down to the bottom. You'll see an activity called the First Activity, Evolutionary Story SDL Plan. If you open this, this should have been the first thing that you completed in biology for this project. In this document, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, past the calendar, there is an evolutionary story self-completion checklist. In this checklist, it shows you all the different activities and checkpoints in which we'll complete as a class in order. This is a great place to go in order to understand what Ms. Langley is talking about if she says, for an example, do activity 2. In this checklist, you can see each thing that we'll be doing in order. So for an example, the first thing that you should have done is this document, in which you set goals and you made a plan. The second thing that you're going to do is to explore and choose your living thing. The way you find that is you go back to your PLP and you look for that document that says explore and choose your living thing. You can find that document underneath the first checkpoint right here. Explore and choose your living thing. To see the next thing we're doing as a class, it's activity 3. How and why living things change over time. You can also find that underneath checkpoint 1, why living things change over time and how we know. One last example is activity 4, called checkpoint practice. In your PLP, you can find that here. Checkpoint practice, checkpoint practice. So if you ever hear Ms. Langley refer to an activity, like activity 2, activity 3, activity 4, get in the habit of looking at your checklist at the bottom of your first activity to understand the different names of the activities that we're doing in class and in what order that you should complete them. Just to point out, we'll first be doing all the activities that prepare you for checkpoint 1. After, you'll be doing checkpoint 2. After checkpoint 2 comes checkpoint 3. You'll then do the visual timeline peer review, which is underneath checkpoint 3 here. Visual timeline peer review. Lastly, you'll practice your presentation. You'll do checkpoint 4, and then you'll do a final activity called the Evolutionary Story Final Self-Assessment. Your final self-assessment can be found at the very bottom of the page, and it's called Final Activity, Evolutionary Story Final Project Self-Assessment. Get in the habit of always coming to this page to understand the order of activities that we'll be doing in class that relate to this project.